So we ain't gonna cough. We're gonna have a good time. Thank you, Janet. Hearts up in the chat. Hearts up in the chat. When I say this is a love room, I'm saying all my babies, all my babies, my girls, my boys, my non-binaries. Like everybody's getting love up in this room, right? It's a room of support. It's a room of love and light. It's a room of virtual hugs, because that's what I'm here for. That's what we're here about. All right. I need to name this house. That's really what needs to happen. I need to name this house on tonight, because I do be feeling like a mother sometimes. Bitch, I'm a mother. No drama. I be feeling like a mother sometimes when I'm coming up in here. All right. I want to thank the babies who are also patrons of mine. Thank you for being patrons. Shout out to the Film Blurred, who literally just signed up on Patreon right before I went live. So I saw you. Thank you so much. I go live bi-monthly over on Patreon to do exclusive dissections of things that we love. If you guys are looking for episode 2 dissection of Pose that happened on Patreon only, I believe the link is also in the description box on this video. That being said, I'm your host, JustLatasha. Welcome to a live dissection happening every Monday, 6 p.m. EST. And every Thursday, you guys will get a 5-minute bite-sized dissection for the Piece of Script series. Make sure you guys subscribe to his channel so you know when I'm dropping new videos. Hit the notification bell. Start this video with the thumbs up. YouTube like to see the action. They like to get active. YouTube like to see like what videos popping, where the people at, what are they enjoying. So when you do little things like subscribing or notification bell or the thumbs up, you're helping creators like me get exposure, which is great. This is what we do this for. We need the eyes. We need the people to show up. We need the people in line and information. And when you guys get active on a YouTube channel, that helps us so much. I mean, YouTube is a machine. It's about the numbers, baby. Let's show them some numbers. Hearts up in the chat. Thank y'all. Let's see who we got up in her. What's up, Asia? Hello, Jess Nicole, who was on Patreon with me yesterday. Mara, welcome. Hello, another patron. Oh, the Belkis Roches. I like it. What's up, BD? That's them for baby daddy, because it is on tonight. Oh, Witch Boy. Oh, we got some spicy people in the chat. Asia from Brooklyn, what's goody? Yannick Singer with the beautiful hearts up in the chat. Thank you. Hi, Amira. Welcome back. What's up, y'all? Just a little note. My name is JustLatasha. The T in Latasha is small. It's lowercase. And you know what? It don't be your fault. Like it looks like it should, like a Latrice, right? Some of the girls be having a big T. I'm little T. I'm Latasha with a little lowercase T. Not the biggest deal. Funny story, the doctor on my birth certificate made the same exact mistake. But what's the law, huh? It don't matter. Don't matter what my actual birth certificate says. We say it's a lowercase t. Welcome to the room. I hope everyone in here streaming right now and being active in the chat is subscribed. I hope you are all subscribed. Look, tonight's going to be different. Usually in my dissections, I got like story structure and like color theory and like color breakdown and like expanding the visuals. And we're going to get into a little bit of that tonight. But really tonight, it's about our heart space. Okay. It's about our heart space. The fact that we got this episode on Mother's Day that can be very emotional for so many people for so many different reasons. So we're going to be expanding emotion tonight and breaking down the human layers between relationships, led of course by no other than Miss Elektra Jackson herself. What a powerful episode yesterday. I was very moved. Okay. And I think we're going to have a great conversation tonight. So don't be afraid to get vulnerable. Put the guard down, open up the heart, let the spirit flow. Okay, we're going to be feeling each other tonight. All right. Hello, Trini. Welcome back. All right, young royalty up in the house. I see a lot of my patrons here. So let's dive in. We are ready. Pose season 3, the final season, episode 3. I don't know why I swore up and down. We was on season 4. I don't know, but we are on season 3 and we are discussing the trunk. Yes. Pose. I'm enjoying the show. I really, really, really been enjoying the show. So let's dive into who Elektra is and was. We are beginning with one of our opening shots here. Down to 1983, a little over 10 years ago for Elektra. And her motto, her whole theme, her whole MO, her whole mode of operation is more. She's been about the abundance. She's talking more. So funny. The first thing I tweeted this morning was the fact that I have Elektra's mother's name, and then my Twitter handle, Latasha's Abundance, is the name of Elektra's house. And I was like, is that you, God? You trying to say something? You trying to tell me something? I would love for her to be my mother. I would join this house stat. And the fact that it kind of worked that way, I was like, this is scurry. I got Elektra's mama's name and her house name. It's a little on the nose. Okay. Wow. So no matter what her physical circumstance dictates about her value, she overrides that and decides how she is valuable. It don't matter if I'm on the street. It don't matter if I'm engaging in sex work. It don't matter. You dragging a white man who's coming to see you down to the pier. Your shoes ain't even that fire, hun. Oh, okay. Okay, and she says something here that is going to be a reoccurring theme for our emotional exploration tonight. She says, dependence is weakness. How do we feel about a statement like that, y'all? I want to jump into the chat real quick. How do we feel about a statement like that? Dependence is weakness. Because when we think about Black women, and we think about our Black trans women, our Black trans sisters, about how we're noted as strong Black women. I want a strong Black woman. And we think about why people give us that title. And we think about how this term is supposed to be endearing and uplifting and this compliment. You're such a strong Black woman. And Miss Elektra right here is saying dependence is weakness. How do we feel about that? What's up, Mark? Nicole said, that white man rolled up and said, he's not a cop. Would have been my red flag. I would have had to go. You talk too much. I don't know. I don't like it. Mark says, Elektra knew of her greatness even when she had nothing, an icon. And let that be a lesson to you all, children. Us all, children. No matter what none of this say, the value is where? Right here. Nicole says, dependence can mean people feel that they are in a position to treat you however they want. Oh, the person of power, the person who's giving is creating a system where you must submit to them in order to access their resources. Janet, of the person who commented first tonight, says, if your circumstances aren't straight, dependence can be a danger. Very true. Very true. Dependence can mean that you're able to hold someone else. We can make you an easy prey. Man, oh man, oh man. When we think about the strength of Black women and why we're considered strong, is because we have no one to rely on. When I think of my experience as a Black woman, anytime I have asked for help, the answer was usually no. Emotionally, romantically, platonically, hey, I don't feel good here. I need you to show up in this way. Nah, I'm good. When it comes to strong Black women, we are expected to carry more than our weight, our stuff and yours, without help, assistance, not even a "are you okay?" And Elektra, thinking about where she's from and the history that we're going to see tonight, why she feels dependence is weakness. Who helped her? Who helped this young Black trans woman in 1983? So I can then ask, is a closed heart a strong heart? Is this a defense mechanism for some wound that has gone unhealed? Well, every time I open my heart, it gets hurt, so I'm gonna go ahead and close it up. Is that strength? Or is that a defense mechanism? I'm gonna let y'all sit on that one. Mara, I'm with you. Mara says, I am not strong. I'm a delicate rose. I'm gentle. Ow! Oh my God, that hurt. I don't like that. I'm soft as shit. BD says, I think there's a difference between dependence and being able to depend on someone. Because what Beyonce said, I'm not a do nothing bitch. I don't need no man. Runs home to Jay-Z. Okay, love you, queen. Don't do that. Okay, let's meet generational wounds. Let's discuss. We meet Elektra's mother, Tasha Jackson. Now, I'm obsessed with this actress. I love her so much. I love her so much it hurts. This is Miss Noma Dumezweni. I know I said that wrong. Oh my God, I'm so American. Ew. Ah! Noma Dumezweni. Miss Noma, girl, you are queen. You are mother. I love you so much. She is so groundedly intense. She's intense. Oh my God. But she plays Tasha Jackson, which is Elektra's birth mother, right? And it was really cool. Even Noma as an actress, they're using Dominique Jackson's actual last name, Tasha Jackson, Elektra Jackson. This is Dominique Jackson's actual last name. And Noma is using Dominique's accent. Dominique is from Trinidad and Tobago, and she made sure that she used the accent as well to really demonstrate the history of Dominique portraying Elektra for Pose. So I thought that was really beautiful. That was really just thoughtful and nuanced and detailed and kind. I really love that. And I wondered, is even for an actress like Dominique, is that even like triggering to do something like this? Because even when Laverne Cox had to, play her before, quote unquote, before era, Laverne Cox used her twin brother to play her. So she didn't actually have to go through this, but Dominique Jackson acting this scene out, being rejected from home, being rejected from her birth mother. I wonder how that feels for her to play that, right? And we discuss mirrors a lot in these dissections, and we often say it represents a different identity, it represents a hidden agenda, it represents something else. But I think this reflection does something quite differently here. And that's because of the context of what they're speaking about and just the setting, right? Let's look into this. I do not think Miss Mother Tasha Jackson is having a split identity. I don't think she has a hidden agenda. What I do think is happening, just from the way she's positioned in front of the mirror, I believe Tasha Jackson is speaking to a past wound. Let's just look in the room, right? If we look over to the left, we see in that kitchen area that looks like this dark, shadowed void. At that kitchen table, there's only one seat. Now, you got Tasha, you got Elektra, and you got somebody's daddy who made Elektra. Why aren't there 3 seats? There's 1 seat. So who is Tasha really speaking to if there's a void like that in the home? Miss Tasha Jackson is speaking to the man that disappeared, the man that hurt her, and hurt people. So she wants to hurt who she perceives as her son, who was supposed to step up and take care of that void in the house. And Elektra's transness is forbidding Tasha's wish fulfillment. So if you look from Tasha's POV, not only did she lose her man, but she's losing what was supposed to be the man of the house. She lost 2. So you have this resentment, you have this anger. She feels abandoned when she's the one doing the abandoning. Her mother was wounded by depending on Elektra's masculinity, which then transformed into Elektra's wound of being dependent. They look exactly alike. Take a look at the bottom left photo when they both stood in the mirror together. Their wounds look exactly alike. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, mm, mm. So, as the last dagger before she sends Elektra out into the world, Tasha Jackson keeps what is Elektra's identity, that trunk. You can't take that trunk with you. I'm going to keep your identity because I can't control it. And so we have this metaphoric death of Tasha's son, because Tasha's son lies in that trunk. This is the burial of Dwayne. Let's move on. Jump up to 1994, present day, where Elektra has created herself to be absolutely everything she's ever dreamed. She is the founder of this huge call center that's seeing success and is on the up and up. And as soon as she gets into her beautiful office, I saw it, a reflection. Some sort of different version of herself is present with her right now. Something met her where she was. And we saw that reflection just a moment ago back in Tasha Jackson's living room. And as Elektra is entering her own office, she's passing all these cages, these gates, these locks, these stripes, these barred windows. Even in her own office has all these grids and lines and stripes. And I'm asking, what to heck is still imprisoning our queen? Where is she still locked up at? Until she's about to get actually locked up, right? I noticed that when we saw her in 1994 being the full embodied Elektra, she resembled the baby Elektra getting kicked out of her mother's home. That Halston dress that she was so proud to wear and own, looking exactly like the outfit she's walking around her office in, because she brought something from the past with her still lingering. And the police are tracking her down and threatening to sweep the job, sweep the house, sweep everything that she got in search of some Italian mob. Giuliani, Rudy Giuliani. And so we have a huge conflict because we know from last season she's been hiding the body of some rich white man in her home. So just giving this to the audience real quick, and I want to see what y'all talking about. I'm gonna dip in. But what we start to see in this episode is this theme of red, white, and blue. And we can start to ask questions about what they want us to know and what they want us to understand from this color combination. We see a lot of red, white, and blue. And I think it means a multitude of things. There's so many themes going on in just this one episode, but keep a pin in it. Keep your eye out, okay? Keep an eye out for the red, white, and blue, because that definitely is leading us somewhere. Lady Longnails, welcome back, says, the tone of Mummy's voice had me shook. She is, Noma is intense. I love it. I love it so much. BD says she felt abandoned instead of it just being the natural progression of the child growing up and finding their own purpose in life. I'm sure the parents did not know what to do with trans babies back in the 80s. Black parents who are used to surviving, a lot of the rules that they set for their children were very strict because they want their children to live well, even if that means minimizing who you are, what you want out of life, your value. Like as long as you live well, they thought that that was success. So she stood next to no chance. CJ, hi, CJ says, what got me is her admission of having a child just to fulfill her sense of security, as though she had any control of who her child would grow up to be, even if they'd make it to adulthood. And how many parents try to live out their dreams through their children, almost giving their children no choice. I need you to be a lawyer. I need you to be a doctor. I need you to be straight. You don't take the reins off, baby. You have to take the reins off. I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. So let's look at these reflections and how they morph from past to present. Because Elektra's past definitely catches up with her, and her past affects how she engages with her current family, right? And that could really be true for everybody, right? You have to think about what baggage you're still carrying into the present and why you still have yet to put it down. What is stopping you from putting it down? So like Blanca is discovering in Elektra's closet this trunk that's holding this rotting thing. And this trunk that caused trouble for Elektra's mother, which is now causing trouble for her house family. And even when we met Elektra back in 1983, she passed these red and white walls. And as Blanca and Poppy are coming to save Elektra and get this thing out of her house, they're passing these red and white walls, and you're giving your wounds to your children, even if by mistake, even with the best intentions. You're handing these wounds right over to the next generation because you haven't let them go and put them down. And here's the thing. In this moment, no matter how she used to feel about it, Elektra needs to depend on Blanca, who needs to depend on Poppy and Ricky, her children. And they all need to learn trust as a foundation to solidify this family, because without trust, well, baby, we might as well just be scrapping down to the piers like before. What is we family for? They're forced to trust each other and grow as family. They're forced to depend on each other with information that they think will be harmful or hurt. Like, you have to just take that leap of faith in love to grow that family, right? And here's what I thought was really chilling. Icy, chilling. When Blanca captures this trunk, taking it from her mother's room, she puts it in her home in Damon's room, a son she lost. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Blanca lost a son, and that's exactly where that trunk went. Thank you, Ken, so much for the super chat. I really, really, really appreciate it. Denard says, them air fresheners hanging took me out. I couldn't deal. I can't do odor. And knowing what's in that closet and knowing I'll be scared of like spirits and ghosts and all that, I would have been out for the count. I would have been down. I can't. Okay. Janet says, a West Indian parent usually adds another layer of expectations to the child, whether they do it knowingly or not. I was so conflicted during that scene with Blanca, Poppy, and Ricky. Like I wanted to stop asking so many questions, but at the same time, they deserve to know what's going on before they are at risk too. You have to give your babies a choice. How unfair would it have been if Blanca didn't tell them what was in the trunk, made them move it, and then they all got caught? That would have been really cold. That would have been really, really, really unfair. Myra says, Blanca is really her ride or die. Had to be talked into it first. Wasn't going willingly. And so Mother Elektra reminded her, you know what I did for you? Now, you don't ever want to be the girl who had to remind people, you know, holding favors over people's heads, but you ain't about to dip after everything I gave you. ain't about to do that. Once she lined up Blanca's mind right, then Blanca became a ride or die. Absolutely. But she had to be reminded. Okay. So let's talk about reflections. Because in this episode, Elektra is in front of a ton of mirrors, and we see a ton of reflections, and it's really just alludes to the parallels of her past to where she is now, right? So I want to jump into the chat and see what you guys think right about here. If we're using reflections to look into the old identities of the past, why does Elektra resemble the trunk when she finally steps into her motherhood in the house of abundance? Let's look at the reflections. On the top left, we have Blanca trying to save Elektra in current day. And then we go through this reflection paralleling the past, and we see when Elektra first completed her house of abundance, she looks exactly like the trunk. Why would she resemble this trunk? The director did what they had to do on this one. I should have looked it up. I totally forgot to look it up. The director did what they had to do with this one. I said, we're going to talk deep tonight. Let's talk deep. Let's bare our souls. Let's talk deep tonight. Why would Elektra resemble this trunk that's bringing so much trouble? And she resembles the trunk at the moment she glows up. She completes her house. She becomes a mother. She's providing. Why would she represent something that carries trouble? Pages Matam says there was a change that needed to happen, a letting go. Very interesting. Asia says the trunk is full of her love and passion, which she now has for her children. Her heart is on the outside of her body now. Ooh, wearing her heart on her sleeve. This episode actually had a lot of like cliches in it, which was cute, but I'm like, okay, Elektra's wearing her heart on her sleeve. Her new prized possession are her children instead of her things. That was beautiful. I like. Real Trini says she is now the fulfillment of the trunk. She is her own life savings. I like that wordplay because she has to save her own life as well as these children. I really like that wordplay. Mara says the trunk is her past. She's still carrying that trauma. Zanar says the trunk represents everything she wants to be, to the point of the dead man inside showing her old self dead. I'm in line with y'all. I'm in line with these takes for sure. I saw and believed that this was a starting point to her emulating the version of herself she wanted, right? Because in the past, the items in the trunk dictated her identity. These are my prized possessions. This is everything I work for. And she couldn't take that out of the house. Those items dictated her identity. And so now without having to rely on those items, she essentially becomes it. But in the present, what she looks like has some dead, rotting thing inside. So we need to explore that. I want to come back because we need to explore how this trunk transformed, right? But we'll get back to that. Did y'all note that Elektra's current home resembles her childhood home? The home that she was forced to leave, right? These huge, like, gaping squares, the darkness behind these rooms, the yellow, the white. She sort of made a reflection, this parallel of where she grew up, her beginnings, her foundation. And sometimes we don't realize that we do that. I know in my childhood home, things were like cluttered. So I make sure now it's a reflection. It's the complete opposite. I have open space. That's a direct reflection of my upbringing, my foundation. I know that I'm operating in a place where I've experienced that and I don't like it. So now it's going to be this. And literally her current home is the opposite, the inversion of her childhood home, which I thought, I mean, it's so true for so many of us, right? Let's talk about the blue. Let's talk about the blue, the white and the blue. And if we're thinking about who Elektra was forced to be in the past and the present and who she's attempting to be today, this is about boyhood. That whole gender conforming thing where blue is for boys, right? That gender binary, blue is for boys. And then we have the police after Elektra, and it reminded me of this other catchphrase, the boys in blue. That's how we speak of police, the boys in blue. And so usually when we see masculinity or expectations of masculinity or the effects of patriarchy and the gender binary, we're seeing this white and blue pairing. We're seeing this color blue really be prominent and stand out. So when we have Elektra arrested and police put Elektra in a men's cell, first thing this cop says is, "You're a woman, prove it," right? Policing her femininity, locking it up. And then the man in the cell intimidates her, objectifying her femininity. So one man rejects it, the next man objectifies it and uses it still to please himself and intimidate her and take. And then in the past, where Elektra and Blanca break in to steal this trunk once and for all, what does her mother say? She threatens to call the police and says, "You don't look nothing like that boy that trunk belongs to." Her mother's doing the same thing the society is doing to her, right? Policing Elektra's masculinity. Asking Elektra as if or telling Elektra as if it's a favor. "All right, you can come around as long as you tone it down a little bit. I need you to be the big, strong son I used to have or that I wanted. You're supposed to be the protector of the house." And baby, the answer is no. Because you're still rejecting me under the guise of love and acceptance. And that's not good enough. Elektra wants what? More. More. You asking me to be less? Baby, this was a Halston. Okay? And here's the thing about women. And I love dragging us because we need it. Okay, here's the thing about women. The man that Tasha Jackson created Elektra with was actually the weakest person she knows. Just like them boys in blue with them guns talking about they scared of every damn thing. The person Tasha Jackson created Elektra with is not here. That's some weak shit, bruh. So why is Tasha chasing a dead image of masculinity? You're chasing a ghost. This thing you idolize is not even in your house. It's a memory. And then tries to weaponize her femininity. "I'm an older woman. I'm all alone. I don't feel safe. You're supposed to be here." You're asking Elektra for protection, but you fail to protect your daughter. Let me know if I said something. Let me know if I said something. Let me know if I said something. So here's why Elektra's my mother. Here's why Elektra's my mama. Goodbye, Tasha. Let's break that down because you don't even realize you've been dragged. A rig is when you don't even realize you've been dragged. It goes right over your head. That's what shade is supposed to do. We're talking about the transitions of names. Because every time Elektra steps in that house, her mother makes sure to dead name her, right? Her mother refers to Dwayne, who becomes the Elektra we know, who becomes the mother to the house of abundance. Dwayne, Elektra, mother. Versus Elektra's mother, whose title goes back to being referred to as Tasha. So because Tasha continues to dead name Elektra, which we do not do to trans people, because Tasha continues to dead name Elektra, Elektra kills her title of mother. And she does it as she's reclaiming her identity and dragging it with her new baby outside of that house. Abundance. Abundance. More. Reclaiming my trunk. Reclaiming my trunk, sir. Reclaiming my trunk. Mara says, this scene was beautiful, the softness in her eyes. Then she rejected the sacrifice. Brings me back to the previous season where she had a surgery despite her lover's objections. Yes, live for you, boo. Zanar says, when she called her mom by her name, that killed me. Bye, Tasha. Savage. Nicole says, the police, her mother, and the fellow prisoner were all lacking compassion to Elektra. They're blue. Say it. Say it. Nicole says, not gonna lie, a couple of times I was like, who's Dwayne? I had to remind myself that was Elektra's name before she became who she is. Dead naming. Absolutely. Absolutely. Whew. All right. All right. So we're speaking of the theme of losing sons. We're speaking of the theme of policing masculinity. Speaking of cages, we're speaking of imprisonments, we're speaking of parallels, past, present, carrying wounds. So Tasha feared being unprotected by the man who left her home and then forced her child out when Elektra wasn't the man Tasha wanted her to be. And it's so funny that when we get here, Blanca works in the opposite. Blanca fears allowing a man to come in and save the day and be the man we were promised. She fears allowing that because strong Black woman got to do it all on her own. Nobody's going to help you. Ain't no Prince Charming, no white knight. Nobody's coming to save you, strong Black woman. And Blanca rests in that, and this man has to beg her, let me in. Baby, the way I would have let him in. And this is so different from her mother, right? Elektra doesn't find value in being saved by men. And why would that be for a woman like her? Masculinity has done nothing but disappoint Elektra. She always has to be her own hero. Dependence is weakness. So Blanca, modeling what she sees, stands firm in her solitude, and so a man is like, I am here to help you, and allow that to be okay when it's safe, right? And I noticed that this object on Blanca's wall in Blanca's home looks exactly like the object that is in her mother's home. The way Elektra's mother, her house looks like Elektra's house, and now Blanca's house looks like Elektra's house. And it's you have these instances where we're passing patterns onto each other, whether they for good or for bad, right? And being that we're doing like these cliches and in these themes, I thought of the phrase, all that glitters isn't gold, because I have been questioning Christopher for 2 episodes now, and now makes episode 3. Who is you, Sharon? Because right in between this couple, all that glitters isn't gold, this beautiful golden applique rests over a rotting man. Just as this beautiful gold accented applique on Elektra's closet hid this rotting thing. And so now this rotting thing rests right in between this couple that it looks so good. So Chris, Mr. Topher, Chris Topher, can I ask you, what the hell is you up to? What kind of skeletons you got in your closet? I don't know. Chris feels good, but he feels too good. Chris feels too good. And I scared, but that just might be my old Black woman wounds talking. I scared. We've seen Christopher with reflections. We've seen Christopher with plaid on. We've seen Christopher in some red. And now he shows up here, white knight saving the day with this dead, rotting thing between the couple. I don't know what it is, but something stank. Something stank. BD says, right, he truly seemed too good to be true. I ain't want to do it. I ain't want to do it. Mark says the same thing. Maybe I'm just jaded as hell, but Chris feels too good to be true. Look, you niggas, I don't know. Amira, this comment, oh my gosh. Blanca turned that trunk into an altar. It's got a hold on all of them. They're all carrying that pain. You gotta watch the ancestors. Which ancestors you allowing in your realm? And I hope Blanca doesn't get hurt in the middle of it. Mara says, I need my couples to be a bit more human. I feel like all of the mates are just so too good. Nicole says, Christopher enters the room. Q, you're just too good to be true. Lauryn Hill version. I don't know, Chris. I got my eye out. Like Selena, I got my eye out because who is you, Sharon? I'm gonna need you to speak up. So we're getting back into these reflections once again, right? We're getting back into these past parallels and how they affect our current situations. What killed Elektra's relationship with her mother births the relationship to her children as a mother, right? This trunk being a lineage between what used to hurt and how she's become a great and incredible woman today. And as she had to save herself as a child and her motherhood saves her children, we have come full circle to a moment where her children are in a position to be able to save her. And just visually looking at these parallels, looking at how these images reflect each other. In the past, Elektra being able to provide an incredible home for her children, shadowed in all this red and gold, to how her children and her daughter Blanca is trying to save her right now, and they are covered in this red light. Both of those times mirroring each other. And in the present, this new family gets together and they dump the body in the trunk, laying to rest the wounds of the sons, right? And this is so ironic, right? That the man that they're currently burying, whoever this stranger is who's laying and rotting in that trunk, his mother couldn't bury him because she has no idea where the body is. And this man is receiving care from a woman that he wouldn't respect had he been alive. The irony that Elektra is taking such good care of someone who wouldn't give the same if he were alive. She better than me. She better than me. And not only is Elektra burying this man, and what this trunk symbolizes is not only is Elektra burying this man, but she's finally burying her mother's son. Her identity is no longer defined or confined to this trunk, which used to hold all of her life's fortune. She's become the fortune. She and her house validate everything that she is, that sees all of her, that sees the entirety of her being that she was begging her mother to see. So now that's all that's in her trunk is what she used to be with who she used to be that with. Just as a token, just keeping the root. Just keeping the root. Yannick Singer says, not an FBI agent, is giving William O'Neill Judas and the Black Messiah vibes. An undercover cop? Pose wouldn't do that to us in the final season. Pose wouldn't do that to us in the final. Like, what do we really know about Chris other than he comes from a rich family and he's nice? CJ says, didn't realize Angel and Lamar are cousins until this episode. I had no idea, and I saw a really great tweet today that showed a picture of those two Latinx boys that were like homeless at like 14, 15, 16. They were like two best friends in the film Paris is Burning, and Angel and Lamar look exactly like that little twosome from the movie. And I thought that was so like such a great connection, because even when I was watching it, this episode felt very Paris is Burning. If you guys haven't seen that, please go watch it. It's about all of this young Black POC trans life experience bottled up into the ballroom scene in this beautiful documentary. And this episode mirrored so much of what that was displaying. Yeah. Mara says, Elektra hasn't let go though, kept that picture of her former self and her mother. Nicole, we were guessing that Chris is an undercover cop. He's too good to be true, says Velkis. Oh, Mara guesses that Chris might succumb to his mother's wishes. The dreams that his mother has for him. Well, let's talk about the House of Abundance then. Elektra introduced the House of Abundance for the first time during the Once Upon a Time ball for their fairy tale ending to all of this. And I noticed something, that Candy was Sleeping Beauty. And it may not even mean anything. It may just be like the really cool costume, which mirrored, I think it was Dior, if I'm not mistaken. Some high fashion designer in real life did a runway show where the models were dressed as mattresses, as if they were sleeping in bed, and they had the pillows and the mattresses tied to them. Very strange. So I thought that was an inspiration for this. But Candy is Sleeping Beauty, and knowing where her character is now, Candy has passed away. She had an unfortunate ending, but Candy rests in this eternal slumber. So the fact that Candy was Sleeping Beauty, I don't know if they did that intentionally, but I just kind of made the connection and really, really, really missed her character. And Elektra as an evil queen witch mother. Let's talk about it real quick, because Elektra came out as Maleficent, the queen who harmed Snow White, I believe, right? And Blanca was Snow White. And it brought me back to season 1, episode 1, when we were rooting for Blanca, and Blanca wanted to get from under her mother and make her own house. And these two were like villainous rivals. Elektra was positioned as this villain, the anti to Blanca, and we were like, who is this bitch, right? Thinking about how we, but now that we know so much of what Elektra went through and what she sacrificed for Blanca to have, how dare you, little girl? Who do you think you are? Now it makes sense. Maybe she wasn't even so bad. She had a wicked mouth, as Elektra does. But your daughter, who you gave everything to, sold furs and pearls for, talking about, I'm up out of here, Ma. What's up? And I'm going to take you down. Excuse me? I might have beat your ass Jocelyn Hernandez style too. Okay, Maleficent was Sleeping Beauty, not Snow White. I'm getting my white princesses mixed up. Okay, got it. Evil Queen. Got it. Maleficent was Sleeping Beauty. Okay. But she's supposed to be this evil, villainous presence after she's given and sacrificed so much. And I thought that was really, really, really interesting. And we thought she was the bad guy, season 1, episode 1. But now it feels like good reason. To me, it feels like good reason. BD says, that's what I was trying to say in the earlier comments, but I think it got lost in the chat. Yes, there's a lot of comments, my bad. I'm always trying to catch up to what y'all saying. So here's the thing. We have all these feel-good times, all these life lessons, all these full circle moments. These characters are on such incredible journeys of finding themselves, standing on their own, finding independence, chasing their dreams, living their passions, getting well, healing. But every episode thus far ends on red. Why do we keep ending on such a dangerous, threatening color? Why do we keep ending on red? Because I remember episode 1 of season 3, we ended up in this red Chinese restaurant with the red drinks. And then Blanca went to go apply to be a nursing student, and she had all these pops of red behind her in such an incredible place. Episode 2, which I dissected only on patreon.com/JustLatasha. Pray Tell finally goes to rehab. He's getting his life on track, and Blanca is dressed in red as she sees him off. And now that the House of Abundance and the House of Evangelista is thriving and the family's together looking out for each other, we're cheersing with these red drinks. And I don't know, y'all. This feels like a bait and switch. It feels like a got him. It feels treacherous. It feels misleading. I don't trust it. Let's see what y'all saying in the chat. Mara says perpetual danger is ever present. Mark says, we Black and LGBTQ, there can never be no red lumen for us. Oh my gosh. No, we need happiness. We need more. Mother says we demand more. But it's true though. Amira says, we know the ending isn't going to be happy, but I'm hoping they don't make us watch it. Haven't we been through enough? Say that part. Say that. Oh my gosh. Nicole says red equals power, strength. Despite everything Black, brown, queer people are preserving through gigantic obstacles, that's a form of strength. If you like it, I love it. I hope so. But knowing all the traumatic events that they keep going through, the drugs, their sicknesses, their deaths, their addictions, Thank you, Velkeys. Nicole says the characters are claiming their power through living their lives the way that they want. And that's very true. That's very true. Matam says blood. I think red in terms of blood ties, aka family, between also the threat HIV AIDS, which affects the blood and also leads to death and all. But I think back on ending with the blood and the bonds. Real Trini says, I am not going to manifest death for my girls. We hope it's everlasting life. That's all we can hope. Red can mean love, Nicole says. Nicole is fight for it. Come on, Nicole, fight for it. Red means love. CJ says, I don't want to see yet another tragic ending. Way to expect it. We hope so. We hope so. If you guys want to see the dissection of Pose season 3, episode 2, that is on my patreon.com/JustLatasha. Shout out to the Film Blurred who became a patron today. So what the Film Blur did was sign up to be the VIP patron, which means when I go live twice a month over there, the VIP patrons can actually join me on video and chat in real time because I want to hear directly from you guys as we dissect some of our favorite TV and films. Please subscribe, y'all. Leave some hearts up in the chat as we go ahead and sign out. Turn in your notification bell so you guys know when I make new videos. Thumbs up this video. Do not leave without giving this video a thumbs up. Tell YouTube you love the content and you love what you see. Their algorithm hides our content from the people who subscribe to see more. I don't know why. That's what they told the computer to do. So do not leave without giving this video a thumbs up. And I will be back this Thursday for the Piece of Script series, the little baby dissection. Last week I did Tales from the Hood, which I really enjoyed because I think it was a poignant conversation between the relationship between Black Americans and Black men and the police and what their deaths symbolize to give life to America. Don't let our death become a ritual. Don't let our death become tradition. We royalty. We sold these oats. We made this. I'll be talking my shit on here, y'all. Okay? I'll be talking my shit on here. So go ahead and subscribe, support the girl, all right? Trans babies, non-binary babies, my boys, my girls, everybody. This is a love room. Throw some hearts up in the chat because I love you. All right, y'all. See y'all Thursday. Bye.